It was a grey, rainy morning in a quiet neighborhood outside of Nashville. The sky was low, the streets were wet, and the garbage trucks had already made their rounds. Most people were inside, staying dry. Sarah wasn't one of them. She had forgotten to take her trash out the night before, so nat up, boots on, she was dragging her can to the curb. That's when she saw it. A plastic bag, torn at the edge, crumpled by the wind, sitting near the alley dumpster. She almost walked past it. Almost. But then it moved. At first, she thought it was the wind, until the bag jerked and a small, muffled sound reached her ears. A whimper, so faint, she almost doubted she'd heard it. Heart pounding, she rushed over, dropping her trash can. Kneeling down, she reached out with shaking hands and peeled the bag open. Inside, curled into a trembling ball, was a tiny soaked puppy, covered in its own filth, barely breathing. Its eyes opened for just a second, and then closed again. Sarah didn't hesitate. She pulled off her rain jacket and wrapped it around the puppy, cradling the tiny body against her chest. The puppy didn't move, no squirm, no cry, just limp and cold. Her mind raced. No time to wonder who did this. No time to be angry, just move. She sprinted back to her car, water splashing under her boots, her hands clutching the bundle like it was made of glass. Hang in there, little one. Please don't give up. The nearest animal clinic was 10 minutes away, but it felt like 100. She kept glancing into the jacket at every red light. The puppy's chest barely moved. Its breathing was shallow, and its tongue was pale. Tears blurred her vision as she whispered over and over, "You're not trash. You're not garbage. You're a baby. You matter." As soon as she reached the clinic, she ran inside yelling for help. A vet tech saw her face, her panic, and rushed forward, taking the bundle from her arms. Sarah stood there, soaked and shaking, watching the doors close behind them. She didn't even know the puppy's name, but her heart had already decided this one was hers. Sarah waited. Minutes passed like hours as she sat in the cold lobby, soaked to the bone, fingers locked, lips whispering silent prayers. The rain tapped gently on the glass behind her. She couldn't stop replaying the moment she found the bag and what could have happened if she hadn't. A vet finally stepped out. He's alive, but barely, severely dehydrated, starving, hypothermic, maybe 4 weeks old. Sarah's chest tightened. Can he make it? The vet nodded slowly. We're doing everything we can, but it'll take time, and he's still very weak. They placed the puppy in a warm incubator with soft towels and a tiny IV drip in his leg. His body was trembling, his breathing unsteady, but he was fighting. Sarah sat beside the glass for hours. She refused to leave. She watched as his little chest rose and fell, and sometimes stopped and started again. Vet techs came and went, checking vitals, adjusting fluids. At one point, his paw twitched. Just a little. Sarah gasped. "You're a fighter," she whispered. "I can see it. I see you." And in that moment, just for a second, his eyes opened again. It was 2 days before the puppy could sit up. Sarah returned to the clinic every few hours, sometimes just to watch him sleep. The vet staff started calling her the puppy's shadow. She didn't mind. He was still fragile, but the worst had passed. The moment Sarah was allowed to hold him again, she cried. Wrapped in a soft blue blanket, the puppy blinked up at her. His ribs were still visible, and one ear flopped lower than the other, but his eyes were clearer, and they looked for her. She smiled. "You made it, little guy." She held him close, kissed his forehead, and said, "You need a name." She thought of how he had been tossed aside like garbage, how he had clung to life even when no one cared. "Your name is Lucky," she whispered. "Because you are, and I promise you'll never feel unwanted again." His tail wagged, just once, but it was enough. In that moment, Sarah knew this wasn't just a rescue. This was the beginning of something bigger. 3 weeks later, Lucky was almost unrecognizable. His fur was soft and golden now. He had filled out, still small, but no longer fragile. And his tail? It wagged constantly. Sarah had made it official. Adoption papers signed, collar bought, a custom tag that simply read, "Lucky, loved." The day she brought him home, he sniffed every corner of her apartment, wagged at the couch, barked once at the mirror, then curled up right at her feet as if to say, "This will do." Over time, he blossomed. He played fetch at the park, learned to climb stairs, greeted strangers with cautious curiosity. But most of all, he followed Sarah everywhere, like he never wanted to lose her. One night as she watched him sleep curled on his new bed, Sarah whispered, "Someone once threw you away, but you're my greatest gift." She didn't rescue him just to save him, he rescued her too. In a world full of throwaway things, Lucky was proof that love can be found in the most unexpected places, even in a plastic bag.